Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Game Pass Grab Bag, your weekly podcast reviewing games from the Game Pass collection, bringing you three unique perspectives from varying skill range. I am the lone survivor of this episode, Andrew. With me, the one who doesn't make it to the escape pod, Keith.
Hello.
And the one who gets eaten by a sea creature because she just wants to pet them all, Liz.
Hey guys.
And this week was a double listener request. This week we played Subnautica, so thank you so much to Global Baller and Javier from Nerd Talk Plus for recommending this game. Subnautica is a first-person exploration survival game where you are a lone survivor from a crashed ship on a mysterious alien planet that is just covered in water. So you are trying to scavenge your way and find a way off of this island. Going around, for me, I played Subnautica. This is actually my second time revisiting Subnautica. I played it back, I don't know, it's been like 3 years ago. I got it free when it was on Epic Games on the computer, and I loved it then. So then we had some listeners recommended. I was like, I would love to go back to this game. So for me, this is a definite game. I love Subnautica. I think this game is a lot of fun.
This is gonna be a weird game for me, but not, because I'm gonna pull out an old wild card that I like to use for a while. I did not care for this game. It was not for me. I just don't do builders. But honestly, I don't really have anything bad to say about it. There's nothing about the game itself that makes me go, ugh, I couldn't stand this aspect. I couldn't stand that aspect. As a matter of fact, there's some really cool things to it. So I think if you're really into builder games and you like this style, it's absolutely worth checking out, because I think it's a well-made version of this, or well-made game of its genre. But I couldn't get excited about it. I couldn't get into it. So it's a personal pass.
I'm going to give it a game. I put so many hours, but I definitely had some highs and lows with the game. I think one thing that, I had to consider with how much I like the game is I played on an older console, and I 100% do not recommend. This is the game that's going to make me upgrade my console. It was that bad. And yeah, I'm still going to give it a game. I think I'm at a low right now, And then so like an hour from now, I'm going to be like, oh, I kind of want to go back into it. And then I'll be a high, so.
I was surprised it's just a game for you. I felt like you just wanted to keep
Look,
playing
I just got it to a low, though.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I put like over a day into it this week. Like,
yeah.
I put in a lot of hours, and I feel like I'm kind of done with these games.
Really?
Dumb.
Oh, I think you said done with these games.
I was in the middle, because I was like, done doesn't sound right, because you're really into these, but dumb sounds mean, so I don't want to say that.
Dumb, yeah. Because I feel like I need someone to hold my hand a little bit. Like, I need this game to be multiplayer, because there's certain, like, I think it was a lot more concise and easier to understand building wise compared to like Astroneer and some of the other ones that we played, but my mind doesn't work like that. I don't do good with technology, with anything like that. That's why I have Andrew.
So I
have a question and a comment on that. So my question,
Okay.
Liz, is, I guess, what about your older system turned you away from it? Because I'm running a Series X. No. A 1X. Sorry. Yeah,
so
not a
Liz.
Series X. I'm not rich like that. I have a 1X, and the load times were a little bit, but like a minute and a half tops. Otherwise, it was fine.
I had a lot of pop-ins. Like, it was so bad that I would like start going by something that I was actually looking for, and then all of a sudden, like, the creeper vines would just shoot up with like me going through them. Like, oh, I'm in the creeper vines, I guess. And then all of a sudden, they would all start to appear. And so for me, it's kind of a big deal when you're trying to figure out, like, am I going towards the right biome? Especially at the beginning. Like, where I'm at now, like, I know, like, if I go southeast, I'll get to, like, this area, that kind of thing. But at the beginning, when I'm trying to figure out where I am, it was really confusing. And it was also, I would go by a mineral, or, like, one of the rocks that contain a mineral. And I'm looking for these rocks, and then I don't see it until I'm going by it. Or I have to get super, super close, and then they start appearing. So for me, it was the pop-ins. The loads weren't great.
But
also, like, there were a couple times that I saved and it didn't save properly, and it crashed a couple times, and so I was constantly saving because I was like, I'm not losing progress again. Because there's nothing worse than when you get like that mineral that you've been searching for, and then all of a sudden it's just like, no, why aren't I moving? And then So for me, It was just very buggy. Like, It wasn't even just the pop-ins, but.
No, I can see that. I don't think it's I don't know if you're on a 1X or not, but I can kind of see where you're coming from there, but I didn't really think much of it. But yeah, I was just kind of curious what your thought process was there. But my comment is I do agree with you that I think I would have had a lot more fun with this, and I probably would have played more hours if it was multiplayer. Mostly just because, as I mentioned, of the builder genre, I'm just kind of ADD about them. Like I can read the the blueprints and hey, you need this and this item. I can find the items. I can collect them. I just lose focus, and then I start building like a whole bunch of storages, and I don't organize them, and then I just kind of get overwhelmed and just fall out of the game, if you will. But if I have like someone like Andrew, I'm like, don't worry about me. I'll be off collecting all the stuff. You do all the building. Bye, girl.
Or like, yeah, because like I was like, oh, I really want to build an observatory, and I can look out of my glass, and it's gonna look so cool.
You spent so much time building that observatory.
And then I was like, oh wait, like the story, which we haven't even touched on.
No, we haven't even started the episode.
I feel like
really.
it's actually hard to progress in the story because you get things every now and then, but this game to me did not feel linear. And so that also distracted me, where I was like, oh, well, I kind of don't know what to do right now, and this looks cool, so I'm going to make it. Or, I'll just go hunting for different minerals and stuff until I figure it out.
So, yeah, you guys are touching a lot of points before we even really started this episode.
This is just a really good intro, Andrew.
I know, thank you. I'm doing a great job reeling you guys in. So getting off, we're going to try to get this off now with the story. And as I said, the beginning of the game, it does not tell you much. It does this really quick cinematic of you escaping a ship, and as you're leaving, you see your ship exploding, and you land in the ocean, and there you go. That's how you're starting the game. And I got to say, I loved the story of Subnautica. When I first played this back in the first time around, I didn't think there was much of a story. I thought it was very much like, yeah, your ship crashed and you're getting out of here. But as you're like digging deep and you're finding majority of, like almost all the story is done by PDAs that you find, but they're all audio logs, so you normally can just play an audio and keep playing the game. I loved the story of Subnautica. I don't know about you guys.
I liked it, but for me, I wish that there was more story at the beginning, because like you're not meeting, but like you're hearing the people on like the PDAs and stuff, but I don't really have an attachment to these people.
Yeah.
And I also felt like it took me so long to progress in the story because I felt like I didn't really have direction. I'd get the radio things and then it would come off that like you needed to go to this area. And so I would go there, but I feel like those were so few and far between. And I feel like I'm just now getting to the story. Like I just now like am really figuring out like who the aliens are and why they are doing what they're doing and all that. So, but I did think it was interesting, like with the PDAs, the Sunbeam, they originally didn't think that your SOS or your message was important.
Yeah.
And then they realize, oh no, you're up without a paddle and you need help. And so they're like trying to get to you.
I'll have to edit that out.
Oh,
Jeez.
I'm so sorry.
I didn't know this was a PG-13 podcast all of a sudden.
It's I apologize.
I'm going to start saying butts all the time.
I think
I'll bleep them all out.
There was an interesting one where the person was like, I saw the shadows in the water. I am not going in that water. And I'm like, that is totally me. Because from like towards the beginning is the first time that I met a Leviathan, they freak me out, and it's scarier than any horror game we played.
This game is kind of part horror game.
Whoever created the Leviathan has like just a warped imagination. The cold, dead eyes. At one point, the second time that I ran into it, and it grabbed me and it's looking at me, I like immediately paused the game, and I'm like, I'm getting on.
Yeah,
I was gonna turn off my game and lose my progress. I'm like, I cannot look at this thing. And then Andrew thankfully came over and like dealt with it for me. It's like,
just like with the
something
spiders
about
in the
those
house.
eyes. Listen, we're living down south right now, and no, because it's spider-like.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
So I thought I had seen clips of those at least, but maybe I haven't. I have to check that out because I'm kind of interested. But for me, as far as the story, I mean, I honestly didn't get far enough to really find one. Like, I found some of these PDAs, and I kind of gathered that you were never like on the ship alone. I mean, you had all these help pods along the way and all these different things, or these other pods that you're finding. So like I did figure there's more to it, But because I was just really struggling so much on getting myself invested, even on the gameplay level, I couldn't really drill down into the story. So I don't have a lot of bad things to say about it. I didn't get into it at all.
You never met the Leviathans? Did you go to the Aurora?
The what?
The Aurora,
The
your ship.
flaming ship that's, yeah. Because they're all around there.
Maybe I did see one and I didn't notice it then. I don't know. I feel like I would notice it by your description. But yeah, I did go out there because I got my radiation suit and everything. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I didn't spend enough time out there.
Yeah, an important factor about Subnautica that I think we really have to state, you have to be observant in order to play this game. If you are someone who just, like, if you're like Liz and just you really miss everything, you will struggle with Subnautica. This game requires you to be very observant.
I can't tell you how many times Andrew has grabbed my arm and pulled me away from like almost stepping in dog poop. Like, it is ridiculous. So I think I did train myself to eventually get observant with this game. Like I was getting so much better. But I think my issue was that I was finding things in the wrong order. I do not need to find fragments for the Cyclops all the time, but not for the sea moth and not for like basic things that I need. And so for me, I found it really frustrating that and then at one point I was like, there really needs to be a gun in this game. And then I found the blueprints for it to scan, and I killed a crab in front of it, and it wouldn't let me scan it anymore. So there's like little things with a game like that like technically, like I should be able to do something, but it won't let me. Oh, that was so frustrating. I went all the way to that island, and then I went back and then went all the way back to the island for that stupid fragment.
Oh,
I was so irritated.
Well, so I mean, as far as the fragments go, one thing I did actually notice, and I actually do agree with you, Liz, it's annoying, is all of the fragments are in like set located positions from what it seems like, because they're
more or
near
less
these special boxes, all these things. So those are predetermined. Why are there so many unnecessary pieces of one thing, and I'm like struggling to find another? I get that some are bigger equipment that like they want you to take more time to find. But finding like 6 additional pieces of another item, like you'd find more pieces of that one item in an area than you even need to begin with. And like things like that kind of annoyed me about it.
I think it's very much to kind of help you. It's not like, oh, there's only 3 things in the entire map. This map is huge. And if they only had like a set limited number of fragments, yeah, I mean, it would be frustrating.
Huge and it isn't. Because like I also felt like they did concentrate some things in certain areas. Like the reef had like so much stuff. But I just found it was frustrating. And also they got rid of coordinates. And it's like, for me, there are certain things that it would be nice to, like if I need like one more fragment to something, like let me look up the coordinates. They got rid of them so that people couldn't use them. And for me, I just think that's kind of lame because they also have the developer tab. And so I actually did this. I created a Cyclops, and because I wanted to go to like further out, and I just wanted to see what it was like. I didn't realize that doing that, like, you can't get achievements anymore, which kind of sucks. I should point that out to you. And like, even if you like stop using it, you're not going to get any more achievements, or at least that happened for me. But if they have those type of cheats, why not make it so that I can find a fragment? You know? I just feel like that seems kind of silly.
Well, to explain the developer tab, when you press start and you hit both bumpers, it adds a menu called the developer tab, and it's essentially a cheat screen. It lets you have, take no damage, have unlimited oxygen, instantly spawn certain vehicles. So it's essentially a cheat menu. And yeah, if you do that, it disables your achievements.
Yeah, I made the mistake of making a Cyclops. Then I was like, so then I was like building other stuff, and I was doing stuff for the other achievements, and I realized they weren't popping up. And I was like, oh, well, that sucks.
I'm curious if in the new Subnautica they'll change that now, where so many more games are allowing, like, having those assist modes, but not punishing you on cheats or on achievements. So I'm curious if they'll change that in the new one.
So they actually just recently patched it to make it so it turns off achievements. You used to be able to get all the achievements before by doing the cheats. Yeah, so when I originally looked at the achievements, because not to get ahead of ourselves on the achievements, all the achievements are secret. So I had to look them up, and a lot of people were saying like, oh, to get this achievement, activate developer tab, teleport to this island, boom, you get the achievement. But then it wasn't until like farther digging after I already tried these things that it said if you activate the developer tab, you cancel and turn off achievements.
But I also think it's like silly to have them be secret achievements, because these are things you're naturally going to do. You're naturally going to make, what is it called? the sea moth. You're naturally going to make that because you need to go deeper, and you're going to create the modules so that you can go to like as low as like 900 feet. Like you have to go further down to get stuff. So for me, I don't like it that it's a secret.
Well, some of the achievements definitely are story driven, and it makes sense why.
Yeah, but
they're
those
secret,
ones
but not all
aren't.
of them.
Building
Yes.
a prawn suit, like.
Yeah, first time and like exiting your pod and jumping into the water. Like, yeah, that doesn't need to be a secret achievement.
I
Yeah.
think too, like this. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say I agree. Go ahead.
I also wish that you can select different like radio transmissions to have it like a little beacon thing or show you where to go. And I kind of thought it was a little annoying that it didn't tell you if it was completed or not, because I wish it said that it was completed. So they had all these ones, and I'm like, wait, I don't know if I did all these because I kept like selecting and deselecting, and also my bad. But like, I felt like that would have been helpful, or if it told you that you collected everything from a certain area. I just found it hard to like find everything, so it would have been nice to know if I had completed it. You know, that's just a nitpicky thing, like for like me personally, because I'm unobservant. I understand like why they didn't do it, but I just wish that they had it.
I like we've been all over the place on this episode.
Well,
What? It's gameplay.
I don't know, but we've already covered achievements. We already talked like,
Oh.
like we talked like so many different.
If this
things
is your
already.
first episode listening to us,
it is not normally like this. It's normally much
Yeah,
less
sometimes it is.
organized. So, jumping back then, actually, on another thing, because you mentioned like this game has its horror moments. I don't know if I would call it horror or not, but there was the first time I got all the way out to the island. I don't know if there's names to these islands, but the one where like the starbeam tries to land and save you, and like
Yeah.
yeah.
LOL. Spoiler alert, it doesn't save you. You keep playing the game. But needless to say, I had gotten pretty injured on my way out there. I don't know, I was swimming around in some fire water or something that I wasn't supposed to be doing. And then I get up onto this island like da 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 da, and I'll be darned if that little crabby thing didn't come flying at me, and I just about jumped out of my chair because it killed me in one shot because of how low a health I had. And yeah, all the last thing I saw was just this thing, lunges at my face and then dead. It's like, ugh.
Well, I got killed by one of those gas things. It
Oh, yeah,
gassed
they're
on me.
literally cows. They're like sea manatees, and you
Yeah.
died from. I didn't even know they hurt
In
you.
one hit, I had like the tiniest sliver of an injury, and then it took my full health because it must have done it right on my head or something.
I died
Gassed
to
me to death.
the giant floating like mini island things.
Seriously?
They're like giant shellfish. I think they were like, it was like giving off some sort of gas, or maybe it had drifted into radioactive area and I didn't notice. I don't know. Needless to say, I was trying to scan it, and
Well, it
then I
tells
died.
you if there's radiation. Yeah, so it must have
Yeah,
been.
that doesn't mean I noticed that, Liz.
Oh.
Come on now.
I also think too, like this worked for me, but I always, whenever I need to go get something, like if I needed coral pieces, I would always just fill up my bag on the way. Like I always needed more stuff. I always needed more of every mineral.
You had like 20 lockers full of things.
No, but I ended up needing them. Like I bought
Yeah.
back like 10 corals. I needed 2. I ended up going through all that.
Oh yeah, I'm not
So
really
for
blaming
me,
you.
it's
It's
like-
smart.
Yeah, and so for me, like I went through, I was like, I'm not gonna need lithium again. I have so much. Guess what I needed? I collected so many, I still need more. So for me, anytime I went out to get something, I'd always make sure I filled up my entire inventory and then went back. Because usually there's a ton of stuff around anyway.
Do you ever get increased bag space? Like, as
No.
far as what you can carry?
But
'Cause
you build
I-
a base, which you apparently never
But
did.
you
Keith.
also, you,
No, I tried a bunch of times, and I couldn't figure out how to build things onto other things, and I got frustrated, and I just built a bunch of storage lockers in an air tubes, and I kind of just ran with
So-
that for a while.
the sea moth has you can have a module and you can have an inventory space there, and then your cyclops I built like full containers there. So if you bring your cyclops, which can carry your sea moth or your prawn suit, like you can have a ton of inventory on you if you're going long distance.
Okay, that makes sense. Cause yeah, I'm just thinking about like my personal bag space, and since I went everywhere via Sea Glide,
Oh my
I was
gosh.
just always relying on what I had, and I was basically always out of bag space because my Sea Glide alone
This
took
blows
up
my
like
mind.
way too much
I
space.
needed that sea moth to get to any depth, because I also, Andrew was making fun of me. I get so nervous with like oxygen. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have like a minute left. I need to get to the top. And when I was going through the cables in the Aurora, I felt so claustrophobic, like just going through and like knowing that I had like limited oxygen. It was like freaking me out. I did not like that. But yeah, that's why I always wanted more oxygen. That's what I always focused on because I knew that it would make me nervous.
Oh, it was like irritated me. I was like, Liz, you have over a minute of oxygen. Stop going up for oxygen.
Oh, the amount of times I died from lack of oxygen because I wasn't paying attention. That probably way more times than Liz actually went to the.
When you die, you lose stuff.
Not
That's why I
always,
didn't
though.
want to.
I think it's only if you have like a certain amount of stuff. Because sometimes it would just go, you died. Like,
You
I
only
know.
lose minerals. If it's anything
No.
you built, you don't lose.
Well, I mean, like I found 5 health packs, and then when the Leviathan killed me, all gone. So for me, it's some of that stuff is important.
Oh, health packs
Keith,
are
I think it blows my mind. You almost played like 10 hours. You never built the sea moth. You never built a base. Like you literally spent this entire game just with the sea glide, just struggling.
I will say I did have Andrew to help me because I was trying to build the habitat. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So I had Andrew to help me and to figure out how to attach everything. If Andrew wasn't here, I would have had to look up a YouTube video. That doesn't.
I almost jumped into a party with you to ask you, or I could have just looked it up. Because I kept trying to build like tubes and stuff, but they only went horizontal, and I couldn't figure out how to make vertical tubes.
Keith, it literally says on your screen, press left and right on the D-pad to rotate it.
Yeah, rotate, and it would just go left and right. I don't know. I tried that, and it didn't work.
I could not imagine the struggle you were going through.
Well, but that's the funny thing. Like I said, I wasn't like even. I mean, I was struggling in the sense that like everything was slow, but that was it. That was my biggest struggle. I was just like, everything just feels like it's taking forever. I would just build a ton of batteries, and I would just sea glide thousands of meters off from my tiny little floating space pod.
Oh my gosh. I also I feel bad because like for me when I built my habitat and you start scanning, like you can have plants like in your space. You can have like a vine wall. One thing that was annoying, I got a shelf and I had like a little figurine and there was like a little glitch. It wouldn't let me put it on it, and I thought that was really dumb. But so for me, I had the enjoyment of doing that too, like making the habitat kind of like just building it the way that I wanted to, having like a space for all my storage stuff and having the observatory. So I can't imagine how boring that must have been for you.
So Liz, this is probably going to be hard to answer, but if I was not here, how much do you think you would have enjoyed this game? How much do you think you would have ended up like Keith and just only had a sea glide?
I would have tried YouTube, and if I still couldn't figure it out, like I'm really bad with figuring out like how, like with like technical stuff, like how things work. I don't like reading the screen and stuff. I just wish that they would tell me. And so for me, like if YouTube didn't help me, I wouldn't have played as much as the game. But I really think that I didn't need that many answers though, because eventually I started figuring it out on my own. I just needed that little help at the beginning. So yeah, I think I would have had to go to YouTube to play this game more. Otherwise I would have been bored.
Yeah, I will say like if you are kind of a noob like Liz, Subnautica may be a little difficult for you. This game does not hold your hand. And I think it makes sense. Like Liz was saying, the game originally used to have coordinates, but they got rid of them. I'm assuming the main reason why, there isn't much of a tutorial, there's no coordinates. The whole purpose of this game is you are on a crashed alien planet that has not been explored. Nobody knows anything about. So it makes sense that it's not like, this is how you build things and how you're supposed to do things. Because this is supposed to be you, a random nobody in the middle of nowhere, have to survive.
But also, like, I feel like my character should know more. So there was one point.
Well, clearly knows engineering.
Well, no, but like I went out into the ocean and like there was this like insane creature, like Technicolor crazy thing, huge, that was attacking my Cyclops, and it was like, I've never seen that before. And I couldn't go out to fix my Cyclops because it killed me instantly every single time. And then there were also these like land creatures that like crawl on the bottom. Andrew had never seen those either. So for me, it's like a game like this, I don't understand how we're supposed to find everything if there's stuff that I don't even know how many hours you put into this game and you didn't see some of the stuff that I did. So for me, it's just like, that's why I think coordinates are important.
Well, so my counterpoint for you, Andrew, is that, yeah, I get it. You're crash landing on this uninhabited, or not uninhabited, I guess, but this uncharted planet. But you have all this technology, and like you're going around, you're scanning blueprints. Like there was no technology that you could obtain that, it sends up some sort of electronic flare that can like scan the surface and provide you coordinates. Like I get why it doesn't. You don't even start with a compass, so like I don't think you should be able to walk into the game, crash land on the planet, and be like, I have the exact coordinates of this planet. But I think as you explore it and as you obtain more technology, I think you should be able to get to it. Is what I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what Keith said.
That's a good point, Keith.
I think
I'd,
so.
I'd agree with that.
I'm not the legend for nothing.
And same with
shut
like
up.
getting a better scanner too, because there were some things that like go by really fast and it's hard to scan them. Like, let me get a better scanner. There were some cool like flying things that I was trying to scan and wouldn't let me.
Oh yeah, I didn't know
I
we
just
really
felt
tried.
like a lot of things weren't improved. Keith said I did try.
I felt I kind of struggled with the scanner because like you're underwater, so everything's a little bit floaty, obviously, and everything darts around their fish. They're quicker than you are underwater. I just struggled with trying to scan some of the fishes, and again,
I
just said,
kept
you know
forgetting.
what, I give up on them.
Oh, another thing that irritated me. What are they, like the tiger fish? You need their tooth?
Yeah, the stalkers.
Yeah, the stalkers. So they can lose a tooth if they are, chewing on salvaged metal or if you throw something at them. I think it is so dumb that I cannot kill these fish and just get it that way. I do not want to follow a creature around waiting for him to drop a tooth. That is dumb. Like, and you have the stasis rifle, and so I used that and I froze the guy. And then I started slicing and dicing. Nothing. Like, so why do I have these tools? I don't know. I thought that was really frustrating because I just like, who thought like, oh, let's make people wait for a fish to drop a tooth.
You
So
needed
speaking
your
of
dentist
tools-
kit.
Yeah.
Speaking of tools, I think this is one of my favorite things about Subnautica. The toys they give you to play with are so awesome. So this is also what surprised me why I love Subnautica. Anyone who's listened to us for the past couple of, for a while now, generally know I hate underwater levels. Almost every game tries to put in some sort of water element, and I think they're awful and they're stupid, and every game keeps trying to do it. But this game is 100% like underwater. Well, not 100%. Sometimes you go up on land.
Land travel is janky in this game. I'd
It
rather
is.
be underwater.
It's weird.
Yeah.
But the toys that Subnautica gives you are so fun and cool. So you first start off, with a Sea Glide, which is just a little portable speed little handheld thing that Keith just used. Then eventually you get the Sea Moth, which is like this little sphere submarine. And it's just, I love, as soon as you get that thing, the game just opens up. And then eventually you get the prawn suit, which is a mech suit that you can use to drill and
Yeah, you get the arms.
harvest minerals and punch sea creatures that try to attack you. But then it's all topped off with the Cyclops, which is this massive submarine. And I loved the Cyclops. The Cyclops alone was just the coolest device. It very much reminds me of like me as a kid when you used to collect G.I. Joes and you get some cool action toys. But then you could get like the aircraft carrier, which could carry all your toys. And that's literally what the Cyclops is, because you can store your other vehicles in it. And it's essentially just a mobile facility. You can actually walk around and explore it. And if you get attacked, you have to put out fires. It is just a cool, fun toy to play with.
I like the little toys too. Like
I did
it's really
too.
cool that like you have the repair tool. You have a fire extinguisher, which I never thought I'd use again, and lo and behold, I definitely needed it. The scanner, the flashlight, the knife. Like I felt like there was a lot of things that you could use, so it didn't really feel boring a lot.
Yeah.
And the Cyclops, I love that you can have like the storage lockers in there. That's the main reason why I like the Cyclops, because it's like I can go on adventures and just fill it up.
Yeah, and I just loved like everything in this game. From all your toys that you're getting, you actually have to like meticulously kind of click on things. Like there's a lot of fun interactions you can do with them. Like in order to replace a battery, you have to find the battery compartment in the back of your vehicle. Like accessing the access panel, you have to purposely click on it. Like I said, like exploring your Cyclops, there's different lights you can turn on. It has like a touch screen, how you're like turning on your engine or increasing the speed, but don't increase it too much or your engine will catch on fire, then you have to extinguish it. It's just like these little fun mechanics that I think were so awesome in Subnautica.
And there were little things too with your base as well, because all of a sudden like water started pouring in. I'm like, that's not good. And you have to actually like, what is it, hole?
Yeah, fill up the holes and make sure your hull.
The reinforcement, not hole, reinforcement. You have to add reinforcements if you keep adding to it. So there's a lot of like technical aspects that I thought were cool because it's like, I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah.
But it was like I wouldn't realize I need to do that until something bad happened.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And I think it's one of the biggest reasons that I said from the very beginning, like, I don't have a lot of gripes with this game outside of I just really struggled to engage with it. And it really comes down to how I play builder games and how I do or don't do well with them, I guess I should say. Because honestly, I think there's so much to Subnautica, and some of it I wish I'd gotten into, but I couldn't fight myself through, I guess.
Yeah, I will say, like, that's the kind of the difficult thing about Subnautica. This game, it can be either really short for someone or crazy long for someone. As like Liz has kind of put, this is not like a linear game. So if you are not finding the blueprints and the fragments to build these things, you could be like mindlessly wandering around this massive ocean for such a long time just trying to find the one last fragment so you can get the blueprint. It can be a really frustrating time, but when things start working and clicking for you, it is a ton of fun.
That's why it was up and down for me. Where like when I say down, it's when I wasn't finding what I want to, and I really wanted to create things and I couldn't create them. And then all of a sudden, I felt like I would get everything at once, and then I'd get really excited about the game. I was like, oh, I have this fragment for my prawn suit attachment, and I can now create this. And so for me, like, and that's why I'm surprised I stuck with it so long, because there were a lot of those moments.
How long would you say on average someone should have the scanner after they started playing the game?
Always.
Always.
No, you have to build the scanner, don't you?
Yeah. Oh, wait, you're saying how long did it take for someone to build a scanner?
Yeah, sorry. That's how long should it take someone to have built the scanner?
Within the first hour?
Okay, that's not that bad. I wanted, because I was gonna say I think maybe 2 hours at most, and I think it's because I didn't quite realize that I needed to. But yeah, it didn't take me too long.
I was nervous you were gonna say it took you 5 hours to build the scanner.
I was nervous that you were gonna tell me that like within the first 15 minutes I should have had that, and I was gonna be like, oh jeez, that explains a lot. But no, because that was the one point where I got the scanner, and then all of a sudden I was like, oh yeah, I know where all these stuff, pieces are. I'm going back, I'm scanning things, I'm getting all this new stuff I can build, but I still didn't think I was having fun. And I think that's the thing is, for me, this genre of games, I really find I'm having fun. I can be engaged with them, and I can think they're interesting, but I find them more of a chore, I think is how I feel with them. Outside of my one exception is Dragon Quest Builders, because Dragon Quest Builders had just a lot of different elements that included, like, I don't know, fun action too. So that one was different for me, but other than that, honestly, most of them kind of feel the same. Not the same, but like work.
See, I would have, for the most part, agree with you, Keith, if it wasn't for the story. Like, I probably would have got burned out on this game if I actually wasn't enjoying the mystery of the story. And that's the thing, you really also, once again, have to kind of dig and look up the story and kind of, like, read these PDAs and kind of figure out what's going on. Because that's what I really enjoyed about Subnautica, is, like, I thought this was just going to be, like, get off the planet and that's it. That's the story. But once you start uncovering what's going on, you're kind of essentially, there's multiple stories you're kind of learning. You're learning about a previous crew that landed here. You're learning about your current survivors. And then you're learning about like an ancient alien race that was on this planet. And you're kind of figuring out like how all these pieces kind of fit together. And it was actually really cool. And I thought the end of Payo was actually kind of awesome.
I think it's really cool too, but I just wish that it came a lot quicker.
It would have come quick. Your issue is you weren't seeing PDAs. The story progresses when you're collecting the certain PDAs.
Once you told me that, though, I did look it up, and I still didn't feel like it was enough for how many hours I put in. Like, because you said, like, oh, you're missing some and stuff, but it's like, okay, but I put in over a day. Like, I think like it was like 1 day, 3 hours and something, and I still don't feel like they're giving me enough story. The story's really cool. Because I looked it up like with the ending and stuff, because I knew I wasn't gonna finish it. So cool, but give me more to keep me going. Like, have like even the cutscene at the beginning, like they could have given you so much more.
Oh, I thought the cutscene at the beginning. They do it at the in the trailer as well. I love it because what makes the cutscene at the beginning so cool is the music.
I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying, like, you don't really learn about, like, the other people that were on the ship with you. And I don't know. I just, like I said, I want more.
I understand what you were talking about where you wish you kind of had more connection with the other survivors.
Yeah, and same with,
wish
like,
that
the
too.
alien race. Like, you're not really communicating with anybody on the planet. And so, I mean, I was actually, like, thinking, like, what if I was this guy and I was just 4 days? Like, I forget what day my character was on, but you're there for weeks and weeks and weeks just swimming in the ocean by yourself. And that's what they made a joke, like, oh, usually when you're isolated for this long, you get a pet, or, like, you do
Which
what
that
Tom
is one of the
Hanks
secret
did.
achievements, to get a pet.
You can get a pet?
Yeah.
Oh, I would like a pet.
It's a cute fish. You got to specifically grow a cute fish.
Cuttlefish?
No, cute fish.
Oh, I thought there was something called a cuttlefish in it. Was that an
Well, I
achievement?
mean, a
There was
cuttlefish is a real
A
thing.
cute fish.
Oh, was a cute fish?
Yeah.
I can read. Be able to see. I knew that.
But as I was trying to transition, that Liz didn't pick up on,
Sorry.
what I think is so great about Subnautica is the music and the sound effects. The unknown worlds.
See, I was confused because usually we do graphics first, and so that was kind of your bad because you did it in the wrong order. So sorry I didn't pick up on
Well,
your mistake.
I'm about to go through both of them because they go in hand to hand. So you
Oh,
don't
they
have to-
do?
Yes,
They
they
do?
do.
I don't-
Yes.
no.
Okay. So what I loved so much about Subnautica, I think Unknown Worlds Entertainment did a phenomenal job creating an amazing atmosphere. The graphics and the music and the audio of Subnautica is amazing. I love the music. My only issue is the music only pops in every once in a while. I wanted the music on all the time, but even then, when the music's not going on, it's super creepy. Just hearing like the different
Yeah.
noises from the animals. You're hearing maybe some whales in the distance, and then of course, as Liz said, that's when a Leviathan grabs you and is snarling at you. in
When
front
you
of your
hear
face.
the Leviathan, like for me, I'm just like,
Oh, yes.
go straight, don't look around, go straight. And so for me, like when I heard that, instant tense, like my whole body would tense up. And what you were saying with the music, I actually kind of liked that. I wish there was more of it, like you said, but when it finally kicked on, it was really dramatic, and I
Yeah.
loved all the music that I heard. 10 out of 10.
I'm trying to think. I noticed there was a few random points that like it would make a weird like a you beat the thing type of noise, and I couldn't figure out because it didn't seem like I had done anything. I was just like swimming up.
Well, you haven't done anything.
Well, I know, but that's what like. But it would make this sort of like, I don't know. It was like a 5-second little jingle almost that I was like, oh, I feel like I should see something happening, and like I don't know. I never noticed anything around it. It sounded really nice though, and I think the soundscape was really nice. Oh boy, did I dislike the noises your character makes.
Oh, when
I
he
get-
eats. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you, Keith. What difficulty did you play on?
I played survival.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. That maybe played a little bit to it, I guess. I don't know. But when your character is starving to death or is dehydrating, and they're just like, I'm like, it sounds like he's being stabbed, not starving to death. Like, it was just a very weird sound. And then I was very, grateful for when you would finally die and stop making those terrible noises. But
See,
the other soundscapes were nice of it.
Or you hear him eat. Oh
Oh,
That was
gosh.
also kind of annoying.
See, I'm just glad that you don't have to hear him drown. I hate when games do that. Like, I think Sea of Thieves does that. There's been a couple that
He
you're
drowns
like,
a little bit.
what?
He drowns a little bit.
Yeah, but it
Oh, I
mostly
thought
just
you
fades
told
to
me
black.
he didn't really. Yeah, you told me it didn't make any noise.
He kind of like
So you lied.
He struggles a bit, I think, as you first run out of air.
Yeah.
And then it kind of just fades to black, but it takes like 3
and then
seconds
music
or something.
plays. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't like that at all. I didn't do that mode because I knew that I would just get really irritated with worrying about oxygen. That I didn't want to do the food and the water. I cheated.
Yeah, so Liz played on freedom mode. So all she had to
fine.
worry about was health and oxygen.
And
That's
then
not
same
cheating.
with, I looked at the creative mode. I figured that would help me before I started playing like the regular game. It did not. I would not recommend that. It had the opposite effect because I was like, Andrew, what am I?
Then you're just
I don't
spoiled.
understand. I mean, I don't hate that they have the option, but who in the right mind would play on hardcore mode? Hardcore mode, you have to deal with both oxygen, health, food, water, but then you only have one life. And I could not imagine doing that because, as we said, some of these creatures are leviathans and they literally eat you in one bite. And if like I could not imagine playing 18 hours or something like that just to have one stupid leviathan snatch you up and boom, there's your 18 hours all gone.
I mean, we used to do it with Diablo 2. And you'd have 20 hours into a character, legendary items coming out of your butt, and then one just false swipe that you didn't expect when you were trying to heal up, and boom, bye-bye hardcore character. But
well, that's why I only did that like once.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, to that point, I could not imagine doing like, I more so could not, only because of the amount of times I died in this game. The amount of times I just didn't try to stop myself from dying, because it was like, it's easier than just trying to get back to the base, and I don't really have much. I'll just die and go back.
I actually, a couple times, I ventured really far out and I didn't find what I was looking for. And then I was thinking, do I want to go all the way back? And I would just quit out of the game. And then I would start back at my base.
That's what your always option
I did that
was
a couple of
quitting out the
times.
game.
So I actually I feel like I put in way more time than it says I did then, because I did that. But then towards the end, like where I'm playing now, I just go in a different direction and just make my way, but go over new territory. But yeah, there were some times where I would go all the way out and I'm just like, that sucks. I don't want to play right now, and I would just X out. But graphically, you said that like hand in hand, I do think I like the music more than the graphics. I actually saw a picture of one of the other characters like in the ship. Do you remember that?
No.
Yeah, there was actually like a picture. It wasn't.
Oh, yeah.
But I think for me, like the pop-ins really annoyed me, where I felt like it took me out of the atmosphere, and it was all the time. But yeah, that Leviathan, like that was like, they need to work for like a horror game. Whoever made that, but I think it really was a beautiful game. The water, I mean, they have to be good at water to make a game called Subnautica.
Yeah.
So I think that overall, it was really, really good.
Yeah, I think just nailed just an underwater aquatic atmosphere. Like how the caves were formed, like just the way plant life looked. The alien sea life is both gorgeous and terrifying, and I think they just did such a wonderful blend of both.
There were some things when I looked in closer, I was just like, that kind of looks silly. Like there was this like weird worm thing. So that's why I mean, like I like the music a bit more.
Life. Have you seen our ocean life? Like even here on Earth, we have some freaky looking fish.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying like I don't know.
Are you talking about the like sandworm thing? That would like
I don't know what they were,
you?
but they looked like they were dancing. Like it almost looked like they had faces too, which they didn't. It was just like the way that it was drawn, and I was just like, that looks weird.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. It has like super wide set eyes, and they're kind of googly-ish, so it looks kind of silly when it's coming at you. But other than the eyes, I think it's a well-designed creature. And also to Andrew's point, we might as well have alien life beneath our oceans as it is. But all in all, yeah, I think the game is really gorgeous. I think the only one small gripe I had with the water, and it's a super small one, it's like when you actually breach, it just looks kind of like this weird, it just looks off. But if you're above the water, standing in your habitat or whatever, looking at the water, looks gorgeous. When you're underwater, looks gorgeous. And it does such a good job with shadows. It's like always one of my biggest complaints about underwater in games is it's just like you look up and it's just this murky, like dark navy blue above you. Like, oh, you're underwater until that line. It gets progressively darker, and you can feel yourself coming to the surface of the water rather than just
and feeling light coming in.
Yeah, it's so real, and I loved it. Like the graphics of this game are awesome.
I also like too with the different depths, and so Keith, did you get to like the blood oil area?
Yes, I did. I got myself a rebreather at one point, so I just dove about 500 meters underwater.
Oh my
I think
gosh!
I got deep as about 500 meters.
Yeah, so like I really like that area looks so different than the reefs. I feel like they did a really good job with the biomes. It's more like, for instance, like the blood root. I don't think that there was a lot of detail in it, is more what I mean with like being nitpicky. Overall, like you guys said, the atmosphere is stunning, but there was just some things like that biome that was just like, I want a little bit more detail from the plants.
I cannot believe, it still blows my mind how much Keith accomplished with just the sea
I know.
glide.
I'll tell you what, it adds a different level of fear to the game when you're like 500 meters underwater and you're like in caves. You're like, man, I really need to consider like not getting lost down in this game because I'm not getting out otherwise.
See, I would get nervous when in my sea moth being in the caves, where I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find my way out. I wish that I was more like you, Keith, and that I was just like, let's do it.
It blows my mind that you did not YouTube things. We can't do the segment, what did you YouTube this week? Because Keith clearly didn't YouTube anything. He was just used the sea glide the entire time.
I refused. I was like, I'm gonna figure this out. I've got to. I had things for the sea cyclops. I think I had the full build for the sea moth. I just couldn't get the third mobile bay piece. So yeah, that sucked.
Also, Google works. There was a couple things that I didn't know, and Andrew wasn't here, and I just Googled it. Just like a tip.
Nope. I believed in myself, and boy was I wrong.
Blows my
Which
mind.
I feel like, Andrew, you hated how much I liked the game. Because
hate
I
it.
asked so many questions.
You make it seem like
Andrew,
I'm like grumbly.
No, because
Liz likes the game.
No, what I mean is like because I asked so many questions.
You do ask a lot of questions.
And Andrew hates being asked a lot of questions. Not by like if a listener asks him a question, he doesn't get. And I'm talking about like a lot of like the same
No,
type of
he
questions.
complains
Like,
so
what's this?
much.
What's that? How do I do this? What is this? What's that over there? Can I do this? Can I have that?
Yeah.
Like, all the time. And it's just like, just make up your mind.
I didn't get it. The ocean builder game. I don't know. You knew I was gonna struggle.
But,
We already went over achievements.
I know. Well, yeah, kind of going over achievements again real quick.
I mean,
I
there's
would not
16 of
recommend
them.
this. Yeah, it's hard to say. I guess overall, I wouldn't recommend this for achievement hunters. Overall, the time to beat for Subnautica, you're looking about 29 hours. Once again, like I said, that's kind of give or take, depending how observant you are. If you can get these recipes pretty quick, you could have a quicker time with this game. But if you, and if like almost all the achievements you're getting just by playing the game, progressing through the story. And as I said before, do not turn on the cheats. So I looked up because all these were secret achievements. So I'm like, well, I got to look these achievements up. And people kept saying like, oh, turn on the developer cheats, teleport to this island, boom, you get the achievement. That has been patched. If you activate developer cheats, you will turn off achievements, which is so unfortunate because I literally was like right at the end, but there was like one ingredient I was missing back on my base. So I'm 1,700 meters underwater and I had an ingredient I needed back at my base. And there's teleporters you can take, but I'm like, that's going to take like an hour and a half, 2 hours just for me to get this ingredient to do this. Screw it. I'm just turning on no cost real quick to build this thing. And because I didn't think it would lock me out of achievements. And so I locked myself out a good 500 gamer score. And literally in the last like 15 minutes of the game, I was like right near the end. I was so frustrated.
You weren't able to just like exit out off of a save or whatever?
No, because that's another thing. When you save this game, you only have one save file. Like you cannot, if you're playing a game, you can't be like, oh, this is my save 1, save 2, save 3.
Yeah.
You can have different games going on, but you can only have one save point for that game.
Yeah.
So I couldn't be like, oh, I'm going to save at this point, play with the cheats, and then revert back to that save. You can't really do that.
Well, I meant from that point where you realized that like you locked yourself out of the achievements, just like exit out of the game and lose your progress that you had from your last save.
No,
And then
because
at
I
least-
already saved after I did the cheats because I didn't realize it did that.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
then.
and there's no autosave.
Yeah.
I don't know if we said that. So
No, we didn't. I think I found out the hard way the first time. I can't remember if it actually bit me in the butt, but it's a weird. I wish there was some sort of autosave.
I could have swore there was, but none of
maybe
those
when
points
you
that-
die or something. But for
I
me, there was no save.
Yeah, I don't think so. I never, at least either after the first time it bit me or once I realized that I just was always very cautious. Like sometimes I would save it twice because it also like, it would sit there and spin for like 20, 30 seconds sometimes telling me it was saving until I like left my ship I was in or did something weird. So I was always like cautious and I would double save. So
Yeah, the save would take a long time. It was weird.
yeah, I didn't quite get that. And it like I said, it would seem like if I was inside my ship when I started the save, if I just left my ship, then it would like kick in. I don't know. It was a weird thing.
So yeah, overall, wouldn't recommend it for achievement hunters, but if you put the time, you'll get majority of the achievements, and there's only a handful of achievements in it. So getting into our final thoughts here, does anyone want to go first?
Sure, I'll kick it off. So here's the thing. I said it from the beginning, and I've said it throughout the whole game. You can listen to this entire podcast, and you would think Keith probably enjoyed this game. He didn't have a bad time. I did. I did have a bad time. But the thing is, it's not because of Subnautica. It was because of me. It's because of how I play the genre. It's because of how I even chose to play this game and to really not engage with it on a high level, like as far as like trying to. I really wanted to figure things out myself. I don't know why, but I did. So I struggled with it, and I didn't find myself having a good time with it. But that being said, I think it has a lot of really cool features when it comes to the gameplay. As Andrew said, there's just a lot of different knickknacks and trinkets and toys that you can build out in this game, and I didn't even play with probably half of them. And the world that you're kind of exploring, it's beautiful. The soundscape's nice. It fits. It feels eerie and dark and under the water. So like from a game, like an actual game, I think this game deserves at least an 80. For my personal enjoyment of it, though, like 70.
So you give it that high.
No, because again, I don't fault anything of the game itself for why I didn't have a good time. I don't think it did anything to sway me away from it outside of being what it is. But if you like this style of gameplay, it's gorgeous and it's great. I think it's worth checking out.
So for me, like I said, this was the second time I revisited Subnautica, and I thought for sure I was only going to play this game like 1 or 2 hours. Like, yeah, just kind of refresh my memory. But I started playing it again, and I was like, man, I forgot how much fun this game was. I really enjoyed it, and I ended up, playing it all the way through and beating it again. It is just a lot of fun, which is surprising because, as I said, I normally hate underwater level stuff, but this Subnautica does such a good job. Like with the world building, as Keith said, with like the audio, the graphics, it just feels like such a cool alien world. I absolutely love the toys you get to play with. I thought the story was really cool. It was this cool mystery that you're piecing together. My biggest faults with it are just kind of how non-linear it is, which is kind of a pro and kind of a con. The con part is just it can take so long for you to find certain fragments. Like I had the Cyclops, I had all my toys built, but I couldn't go a certain depth, and it's because I was missing a module, and so it's like, okay, I got to Google this. Where is the module located? Okay, it's at this wreckage. So it's just kind of frustrating. That's like, just because I didn't explore this specific wreckage, I didn't get the module, and so like some of that stuff can be kind of annoying. That you tend to have to look things up, and I always end up faulting a game for that. Like I shouldn't have to look things up in order to keep progressing, but once you do, I think the journey is well worth it. Once you start going super deep in the ocean, seeing these extra creepy creatures and getting into like the lava world, it's really awesome atmospheres. Love this game. It's a lot of fun. For me, I'm going to give it a solid 85.
I'm going to give it an 83. That number just called to me when I was playing the game. I think too because I feel like I would have given it less, but I didn't know how much of it was just gamer error. Like with how long it took me to do certain things. And it seemed like the story sounded really cool. I didn't get all of it though. So for me, it was hard to score. But I'm really excited this week. So before we get into Metacritic, we have some listener reviews. Yeah, so if you guys give us a recommendation, definitely give us your review of the game if you've played it. So the listeners that recommended the game gave us their reviews. And first we have Global Ballers. He gave it an 89. He said, I think Subnautica is truly phenomenal. It holds your hand just enough to guide you, but isn't overwhelming, and the graphics are great. The creatures are terrifyingly beautiful, and it's an adventure you won't forget. Plus, the Reef-Back Leviathan is beautiful. Then we have one from Javier from Nerd Talk Plus. You guys are awesome. So he said, for me, Subnautica is the rare survival game where the actual survival can become sidetracked by its open ocean world and mystery. The way it fuses its over 30 biodomes and all the strange creatures is amazing. The way it's always teasing the next little mystery in a distant roar or your computer going off with a warning in the in-game world always kept me immersed. It's a game I put many hours into in early access and one I look forward to playing on the new generation of consoles for achievements, of course, and playing its sequel Below Zero for fun. I give Subnautica an 85 meters out of 100.
Oh, that's pretty good. I like that.
And then lastly, Metacritic. 81 for critics, 8.3 for users. And I have one for you guys today. It's our fourth and silent co-host.
Yes.
And he's back.
Boy.
Of course, he gave it a 0.
As he does.
So he went on first complimenting it, saying that the game is pretty.
So he compliments it, but still gives it a 0.
Yeah.
Gotta
he
at least
said
give it
was
like a
nice.
2.
I know.
Yeah. Should we finish the game in place of these lazy developers who dare to sell their thing still in beta, or should you go to Wikipedia for the procedure? And then he also said that you really have to have time to waste when he was talking about collecting things and harvesting and getting widgets to make different widgets. They're always long, so I'm just paraphrasing some of it. And then at the end, I thought this was interesting. Even the super crappy No Man's Sky had a less crappy interface, and we felt a lot less lost. And then he called it a vaguely unplayable concept.
Wait, did he not use the word turd a single time?
I don't think so. I
I
don't
was
remember.
gonna say,
I
we
didn't
start-
copy it all down because it's
We need to
a
start
lot.
doing a turd counter.
Well, he said beta, so he must have played this game when it was like actually early access.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
He said he felt lost. So.
Okay. I mean, I guess maybe that makes sense. I feel like it's rare that I feel like I failed our listeners, but between Global Baller calling me a legend, Until Chaos calling me a goat, both of them recommended games, Quake and Subnautica, and man, I have not appreciated them. I'm sorry.
And Hades. Until Chaos also recommended Hades.
All right, so I didn't fail Hades, but so sorry, Global Baller, and sorry, Until Chaos. I still love you guys. You're my favorites.
Yeah, our listeners need to stop complimenting Keith. His ego's getting a little big now.
Nah, you guys are cool. It's my favorite. Andrew has gotten
I feel like
absolutely
if you're-
0 compliments so far in this podcast. I've gotten 2. Just throwing that out there.
So you say that you're sorry. Are you sorry enough to play the game more and create a habitat and a sea moth, or are you done?
I may go back and I may try some more. I'll go back and I'll look up where I can get the mobile bay so that I can actually build the sea
my
sea
gosh.
glide, or the sea cycle.
There's literally, like, fragments of your mobile bay are, like, literally right underneath your beginning life pod.
I swear I looked around there. I will try again. I will at least try to get the achievement for building a vehicle.
So I want to thank one of our listeners, Shane, for discussing with me on our Facebook on the Hades review. You kind of gave me the idea, we always read random people's Metacritic scores, but, nobody cares about random people. We want to hear from our listeners. So thank you so much for giving me the idea of, asking you guys. When you guys recommend a game, please give us your review. Because majority of the time when people recommend a game, it's because it's a game they love. So we would love to hear your take on it, and we'd love to hear your score, and we'll read it on this podcast. We'd love to hear from you guys. So thank you so much. We love hearing from you all. But I think that's going to do it for us this week. I will start on Facebook, be posting games that we are going to be playing in the future. So even if you don't recommend a game and we say, hey, we're playing such and such game, if you've played it, comment, tell us, give us our review there, and, we'll read it on the podcast. But you can find us on Facebook at Game Pass Grab Bag. We're at Twitter at GBGBpod, or you can email us, say hi, and write us a recommendation. We're at GamePassGrabBag@gmail.com. I've been your hardcore gamer host, Andrew. You can find me on Xbox Live at Firebird01952.
Yeah, I've been Keith. I think I've said all I had to say on this. I'm out of words. I have far too much of a cold to have said as much as I did tonight.
I'm proud of you, Keith. You didn't sneeze or cough this entire episode, I think.
No,
if
I
not,
muted
I'll probably hear it when I edit it.
I muted myself the one time I had a good one coming on. But
Okay.
otherwise, I did good.
And I'm Liz Noob, gamertag coming. I'm Dean, and I'm on Twitter at Liz Noob. Noob is EW.
And she's also the one with the foul mouth this episode.
Seriously. Sorry, everybody. Bye.
Thank you all for tuning in. We love you all. We'll see you again next week.
Bye, guys.